Good evening, Central Barrack crowd, to a global affair of outworldly significance in ETF2L's own 606 Season 51 or Winter 2026 Premiership Division. Week 1 wheels Poland versus Japan, if you simply go off featured flags. In reality, though, we have Global YETI versus a team I can neither abbreviate nor introduce in a solemn manner. I'll leave that to Beta, who joins me tonight on PSG, printstream.gg. While JMax on production can already draft up a response for copyright infringement from a professional sports club. Peter, we're here. We're on printstream.gg. We're on Gullywash.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's my favorite map. It's week 1. Who knows what we're going to see? We've got a Polish team that nobody knows what classes they're even playing. Should be very interesting to see how good they are, and they're going up against a very fun team, in my opinion. The Mac team, the Keck Samurai, or Keck Minion Samurai. Sorry, we're going to get that wrong a lot. Might just call them Samurais. Might just call them the Mac team. We'll see. Whatever I accidentally end up saying, but it is kind of the team that we saw go to the last German land with Mac on it. So it's Eon on Medic, Mac on Demo Man. We've got Sills and who was the last one? Sold it. I forgot. I genuinely forgot. Bloke. Oh right, his left. Yeah, obviously. And then we've got Flick and SNH on Scout. So like 2 very, very good scouts, but also kind of new to the roster. So that should be interesting to see how they gel and work out. They definitely have the talent there. I'm not sure how good Flick is right now. Like if he's on, Flick can be extremely good.
I was also wondering if you see, misspelled minion, samurai is correctly spelled. I was also theorizing about maybe they didn't even want to say Kek. They wanted to say mech minion samurai and something got switched up. But in any case, you already said it, Peter. Probably have to settle for either minions or samurais, but opposing them is Global YETI. It is Piku, I think that is pronounced, on the pocket scout role, then Enion on the flank scout. Alof, we do know him very well from the last Poland, where he definitely had a lot of people rooting for him. Then Tokyo on, opposing a team in the Japanese colors, but he's a Polish person. Then Front on Demoman and Wonju on Medic. Probably they're switching their classes. Peter, I have a question for you already.
Shoot.
I dug it out. Who has the most official matches played out of any of those players just mentioned on ETF2L?
Like just the Polish team?
The Polish and also accounting the Mac team. So out of those 12 gamers.
Oh my god. I don't know. I have a weird feeling that maybe Lev has like a ton of games. Just not in Prem, but I feel like he might have been active. But that's just a wild guess. Am I correct?
I am going to say it is Wonju, but I say he has. Well, now I can put even more on this, but what do you think? I can give you this hint. He has well into the triple digits. Well into the triple digits.
Well, it's triple digit. Damn. Does he have like 133 matches exactly?
275.
Damn, what a beast.
What? And Mac is the second place, 217. But insane, honestly. But we are talking about it a little bit. They are switching their players up here on Global YETI. So, Peter, was just my segue. We basically have a mix-up of old school players and really new faces, I feel like, at least in Prem.
Yeah, this is basically the Buccaneers team with some scout facelifts, trying to mix it up a little bit, see if they kind of crashed and burned it pretty hard at land, so maybe they need something else. I heard a lot of people speak really highly of SNH at this land, so I can kind of see why they would want to pick him up and go for it. I think he was not that active. So he wasn't really available for any teams going into the German land, but now going to Poland, he should be here. So I'm very, very curious to see how well SNH is gonna gel with this team. Very much looking forward to it.
We're waiting for the final player here on Global YETI. I just quickly want to also introduce Team A in terms of map picks and bans was Global YETI, so they could therefore ban the first map. They banned product. Then The minions picked Granary, banned Granary, picked Gullywash, who we start out on Gullywash. And the second map is Sunshine. Also, maybe a little bit in the switch-ups, If you look at Minion Samurai, they don't have that much longevity. No, obviously, they only rebranded. Bloodster Buccaneers played the last season, but Global Yeti have a Division 1 win in autumn 2023. And in the last Prem season, that was in 2024, where they played Beta, they got 0 wins and 1 tie.
Oh man, that is my type of team. I could join that. That is right up the like they're just following the Lego playbook. Warms my heart to see that is still going strong. But yeah, it's like I'm definitely expecting the Samurais to be the stronger team, but also I am very much. I will just admit that I am quite clueless about this Polish team. They could be really good, but I would be kind of surprised, but I'm hoping for a pleasant surprise here because who knows? There's always been a Polish team, TCM, Toilet Cleaner Master, and then Global Yeti shares a lot of players. There's always been like a good Polish team around. So these guys, they played with each other a whole lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they just have way above like average team coordination, which could enable them to definitely steal some maps. And Gullywash would definitely be one of them.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the litmus test is usually which team's community or which nationality's community has the most active pickup community. Sometimes, I mean, Polish players definitely playing a lot with each other. I always sort of describe this as the Frenchie issue, like the Frenchies always have this active community, so it doesn't really matter if they have an off season or not.
Yeah, I was actually almost mentioning that this Polish group of players reminds me a lot of the French group of players where like they have this team that's always in top prem and they switch out the players, but there's like a big pool of players that it kind of shares. And yeah, it definitely comes from that pickup community. So yeah, they share a lot in common. So they're very active, they're very strong, and they're just active. And that I think that does a lot for you.
That also does a lot in the current community, definitely, especially sticking together with your team. But honestly, I'm going to not oppose you this time around, going to be a little bit boring and probably expecting the team here, the Mac team, coming out on top since they have more Prem experience, but maybe Global Yeti can throw a tantrum up or even come in as a bit of the underdogs here. But it is always sort of, for me, fresh energy versus experienced Prem players. But once more, welcome everyone, crepuscular crowd, as we are already entering in week 1, Global Yeti in the blue, and in the red it is the minions, the samurais, whatever, starting on Gullywash.
Gonna get the normal rollouts here. Looks like both demo men are pretty quick, being pressured only slightly from either team here. As we have some soldiers going behind line, big bomb in here coming from the red soldier.
Block.
Puts the demo man against the wall, takes him down. And this is just a slaughter. Big bomb in here from the blue soldier as well. Takes down the SNH as well. Really big stuff here.
They are still not letting go. Wanju is claimed there at the end by Mac. They are all, not sure if you can see it here, taking up in very different team names and names. It's very difficult to tell them apart, but that was basically a double soldier bomb onto the choke of Global Yeti. Then, though, Front sort of was dying, but they got Eon down early on, but eventually it was the follow-up aggression from Global Yeti that won them this mid-fight.
The end result out of all of this is that we're going to have a slight Uber ad on Eon. It's not very big. This is one of those Uber advantages that I don't really think you can push on. They obviously know that Eon died earlier on, so therefore he starts healing earlier, and he's going to have a small advantage. But they also know it's going to be like 50 to 20% ad to work with, and you don't get very far using that.
If they're close though here, Victor, maybe they can, never mind, left backs out away from it and only really trading spam here. The other soldier, the secondary one, it's a double trap. YETI off, goodbye.
Well, I mean, if you want them to not push an advantage, then you don't want to bleed players like that. Everyone's just in full retreat. 3 players lie front, and then you're gonna just go back here, try to see if they can salvage it just a little bit, maybe hold the line for some respawners to come in here so they can hold on to second. It is not to be though. Soda's actually going to come in, but they're bleeding again. Pico and Alov, they were like, feeding that first time was not a good idea. Maybe the second time it'll work out here. No, not so far.
Maybe that name should say, I pick you, not you pick me. He was in snap on the forward spawn. Also, Tokyo here is straight sent down to Japan. And now, though, the Uber encounters are on the horizon. Enyen has Uber flashed onto him on the point itself. So the Heavy might send some sort of order back into it. So Tokyo still down. Mech controls the high ground. Now the soldiers come close here. It's a lot of barrage rockets, a lot of curtain fire.
SNH's going to come onto the point. No one's down there yet.
And now the follow-up, but only Eon left alive. That was crazy. Can he even scurry out alive? He's going to get chased and basically has to defend himself.
There's no way, right? Okay, yeah, he's been completely cut off.
Sorry.
Yeah, Alam was just there waiting for him. So that very late death here for Eon, very close push here. They did a pretty good job of spreading themselves out, coming up onto the point, putting pressure on it, but didn't quite deal with the Heavy quickly enough there. And that's going to leave Wanshu with a big Uber ad here. They're going to move into mid. It is quite difficult to push in here. There's even the SNH sniper currently roaming in big door, trying to pick them off as they come in here. And Anya's going to peek in there. Sniper spotted with the bullet through a eye socket. So now that's only going to slow them down.
Sniper spotted, location averted, or at least called out, but it is intransigent how Global Yeti is playing, since on that last hold, I was really surprised that they were even able to stave them off, even though they were on a 1 to 2 man disadvantage at the advent of that entire push working. But before that, yeah, I mean, we called out maybe a little bit discipline lacking, you know, Pico getting picked up in the front spawn as on sniper, and then Tokyo also falling down, but apparently SNH still sticks to snap.
Gonna see some action here, big door, and actually 2 picks there, including the demo man. Shoulder jumps in aggressively, and the sniper gets
They're dropping their pocket scout here. It's abysmal, Peter.
It's chaos. It's not good. They dropped them right before that. They already had 2 picks. It seems like this Polish team just loves dropping 2 players and then having to avert disaster desperately here. Anyan's gonna get taken down. Nice pipe there. Gonna come out. Alof's pressured in water really heavily, but actually Mac is caught in alone. The second point hasn't been caught out, so they're not in here, all of the players, but the pressure in water is insane. Scout's going to be down there. Soldier's going to come in from behind. It's too much. The pressure is too high, and that's going to be the first round here going for the Keck Minion Samurai team. And it wasn't pretty, but they eventually got it done.
No, absolutely not. I'm not going to spell it out loud. You can also abbreviate one of the team names, and that might be a herald for what just happened in this round. Honestly, I mean, it was interesting, I'll say the least. I was surprised and even a bit impressed by the soldiers from Global Yeti, but and even then Elof stood around and stayed alive so much in the sort of in the river, and that just drew out the fight basically. But second mid fight.
Front gets pressured pretty heavily here in his own joke. He is in the fight now though, but the soldier comes jumping in, actually picks off the scouts, takes those down first. That bodes really well. If they can just survive, they'll win this fight in the long run. And oh my god, don't even talk about the long run. It is in the short streak.
Also caught out. So easy, wrapping around Sivs, kept alive on around 10 to 15 to 20 HP. And
no, there's no way this sniper. Okay. Thank God.
Could have been one for the high right wheel. Anyan spawns on Pyro. They don't have Uber up yet, but they have to get out of the spawn.
It's not going to be easy. They're on the lip here. There's stickies on the right door. Second point is now captured out. There's a scout on the point. They do actually eventually get the soldiers on here to the point, but the Uber comes out. This is brutal. Demo man trying to get taken down. Actually gets arrowed. There's just no way they're holding this. Single soldier on the point. Gets taken down. Does a lot of damage. Eon down pushed. And 2-0 here. That looked clean.
GG, or at least good round that is, as I mean, 6 minutes, 2 rounds already, the leading ones for the top dogs here because they have more Premier experience. But I was really honestly surprised. I mean, in the very first round, definitely they had also the time nominally to show up some fights on the face of Global Yeti, but on the second round it was very easy, honestly, getting completely encircled on the mid fight. Front was not able to even enter this since he took so much damage prior, and that was an instant push into the second because also the Wonju died very late. Eon is the first one to fall though.
Yeah, Elof just jumps into the elbow there, takes him down, and now it's going to be all to them. If they can salvage, Wonju against the soldier gets taken down, Silves will get the salvage, and there's even a soldier behind lines. Everyone else has basically died here. Left's going to come from behind and picks off a soldier. This is kind of collapsing here. There's two soldiers on, two scouts on the point here. Those little pesky bees will eventually swarm everyone that comes close to the point. So they're gonna cap it out, but they're quite hurt here. And Eon's gonna come back in the fight slightly early here to put on some heals. So they were thinking about going in, but Wonju is also in here. I think it's gonna settle down a little bit, but quite chaotic mid-fight here to start it off.
I liked how Bloke took the mandate upon him to even face a 1v2 on face value. Then the scout came in, but Alas a little bit too slow, so they lose that basically. But now it is already, though, Elof jumping through, basically being almost uncontested, but doesn't lay a single finger here on Eon. Very much protected, 25% Uber advantage still to speak of.
Yeah, Eon too slippery there. Elves get bounced around a lot. They're going to send in soldier aggression here. Actually, it takes a ton of space. Look at that. They're just being bullied out. Don't want to use their Uber to hold on to the middle. I feel like a lot of teams would have actually just spent the Uber there, take the Uber fight and choke, just to block them off and then just count their resupplies to come back in here. But they're not going to do that. Actually, a big jump here through the big door here. Sills in the corner, gets arrowed twice. He's going to keep on going behind lines. SNH is already there. They're going to tag team up here, see if they can find any victims. They do have some Soldier and even the Demo Man trying to watch the back here, but they're also pressuring big door. Soldier's going to come in from the top now. The pressure is insane here.
That was so crazy. Honestly, how they compartmentalized their own players. They also big pipe into the head of Mac and eventually wonderful impetus. Honestly, I gotta admit, by the Samurais. But they were listening as minions to the overlord of Mac. Essentially, SNH is still in behind, hasn't even died. And we have to look at the choke though, as there are glowing players here who are exchanging some combatants. Ultimately, it is the blue team leaving momentarily.
Yeah, front took quite a lot of damage before that Uber popped off there, so they can't really be too aggressive. If he got caught in too deep, it would be pretty bad. But look again, in big door, they're already in here. The Samurais taking up so much space. Gonna jump their soldier onto the medic. Wonju's in the corner up against the wall, gonna get taken down. Just gonna be a matter of, can Eon survive this? He's dodging, he's diving, he's just doing his absolute best, but no. Two rockets.
5K, by the way, just idly, just calling it out. I mean, ultimately, flicks him into pieces. 2 players left alive. That is all you need to lay a siege on that middle point. But honestly, none of those players is actually letting go in those fights. SNH is also going to meet here, Elof, on the sniper class. SNH, that was a little bit forward, but ultimately, though, it is still the Red Squadron taking this advantageous fight here. Bloke already leaving it to the air.
Yeah, not really gonna get a whole lot of distance on any of those jumps, and they're so deep. Like, look at that, Mac just taking point, bullying everyone else out. Pico just barely manages to survive here, just dances around in big door. But yeah, I really love how much pressure we just see the Samurais put on here. They're gonna keep on going, gonna jump into second point, not really find a whole lot of players here. They're all up top, see front in big door. Eventually they are going to get pushed out here unless they get this Uber and just decide to go on.
Wants to stay in because they have an Uber advantage here and going to pop it. Let's see if they can edge out here. Never mind, too many players body blocking in the choke eventually, and also the double scout chariot. And now they want to stampede forth more indeed. Yes, 100% now on Eon ticking up, and so many players still on the high ground to beam them up to a higher health bar. Wonju not out of harm's way yet. Also Elof initiating. It forces the Uber finally, and maybe they even want to chase into the last point. I get some real disrespect vibes here, Peter, from the red team.
Flick definitely wanted to go there. You can see he's so aggressive. Actually, he's going to end up being taken down there front with some good stickies and pipes. Going to eventually end up picking him off. Not really a big deal. You kind of get the feeling that Flick might want to go sniper or do something sneaky here. Meanwhile, front just trying to lock down this lobby area just to make it more difficult. If you go forward like this, if you have the enemy team go for a sniper or something, he's going to have to go through the doors first. And like, he's not just going to walk into stickies, but they are going to have to clear them. And in that process, you usually spot some weird off classes, if they have any. There are none so far, and front has long since fallen back here. So just a little bit of a heads-up play. Just putting some pressure into lobby here to try and get some information before they get pushed on last. And oh no, Sills might Okay, almost burns to death there. You even saw people try to chase him out, but just barely managed to get arrowed and a medkit to stay alive here. So we are now in this game where we want to spam out the sentry gun, try to see if you can pressure people through water. If you can spam down the sentry gun, get people on the point, eventually you can get onto the medic, and you can actually get some stuff done here. But it is a big spam war.
So many flame particles also being flung upon the river area where you usually don't, be emblazed by fire because it has water. At least that is what River says. No, anyway, they have a level 3 sentry gun now on the last point. And what was really interesting to me is that I think, honestly, Global Yeti is getting a bit more cocky here eventually to take these trades, especially on the second point, being more aggressive, getting a double pick here, even Alof racking up to a 2k, just keeping the flanks shut down with the rockets, and rocket ricochet, honestly, is probably going to propel themselves much more forth indeed here, as already Alof is taking a bit of forward ground, but nothing really, realistically, much of.
Yeah, it's kind of like a soft forward hold where they're not really committing, but they do have some stickies laying around in top lobby, and they had some people escort him out as well, just in case there's like a random scout just waiting for him, right? Eventually it will get cleared up, but again, you can gain some potential information here from it.
Alof in the lobby. He has the combo above him. I don't think he's even aware, but he is not. He shot the sniper, or maybe even jumped on the medic, but he had no idea he was there. SNH now, peeking from main. Peeking from main! That's one on the counter sniper. I thought that was already a medic sizzling down. Also, Tokyo being so low on HP. Slowly, they're pressure cooking this.
Sentry gun goes down. The Sona's gonna jump in. Uber has been popped. There's even kill on the point. Double airshot from left onto the point. Insane play out of him. He's not gonna end up getting the cap, but he got so much time on the point, and Eon is just sitting there with an Uber. So they're gonna have about a minute to go in. Oh no. Don't get caught out here, Mac. That would be absolute disaster. He's going to survive. Full Uberat going into last with the point almost capped out. This is looking so good for Keck Samurai Minion Samurai.
Front has sticky set up in the lower area. You can already see him peer toward it, but 50% now separated the defense from having any Uber up. Instead, now Mac is walking forward with his triumvirate of success. Hills already taken up to the rim here and shooting at the Demo Man, who tries to lock it down. Flick is the first victim of this incoming push, and now Tokyo though tries to defend it. He doesn't stand on the point, and that is a 3-0, but YETI putting up much more of a fight now.
Yeah, they got forward there. Unfortunately, a scout just had to put his pinky toe on that point to cap it out. There was so much cap time there. So the double air shot mattered, people. It really did. Yeah. Let the record show that double air shot mattered, and all the cap time he got out definitely made that super easy for them. We're gonna have our fourth mid here. Front gets jumped a little bit once again. Not a full mid in here. And the soldiers are in the skybox. Actually, just gonna fight each other.
Zergs is landing on Tokyo here, and Olaf also shoots Bloke apart. Enian is the first one after that to follow, but Sylphs now deals with Front deftly there in the choke, and still there's a pipe wonderful into Flick, and usually before on Global Yeti that point proved beyond their faculties. It seems to be the way once more.
The man advantage is equal, however, the positioning
one shoot with the jukes. Oh, sorry, on second, Sylphs very much dodged out.
Yeah, they're gonna clean up Elov here on the back lines. The pressure is coming in through choke. Actually, Ian doesn't have it yet. Oh no, he needs to dance out. He's on 35 SP, just barely gets it. Actually hasn't used it yet. Balls of steel to hold on to it in this situation. I think they want to use it. There we go.
How they use it? Okay, the demo man.
Oh, they won't want you. They're just like, we're getting this man 100%. I don't care.
I don't want to be this guy. He died already before he had to pop. But I mean, eventually, we caught that out before. Sometimes Eon goes down here, but apparently I think they just want to instantly lock it out. We hit the lead time here. 13 minutes, 37 seconds. Already so much cap time on the last 4-0.
Yeah, that was a momentum where it just carried on through. He was kind of weak, Eon. He could have stayed back. He could have stayed alive for sure, and then not used the Uber. And people would get hurt. You have to stop and get healed, that kind of stuff. Instead, they were just like, nah, we're right-clicking. We're running through this choke. And they just bulldozed everyone.
I mean, again, I'm going to ask the same question. How much is that just, tactics? How much is that just we disrespect your mentality?
Ooh, I think that was just tactics. I think that's just a good decision. And oh my god, Frontman jumped every single time. This time around, Bloke's actually going to get the kill out though. And yeah, they've actually kind of craved it here. It's just a scouted Devilman
on 1
against the world.
HP! Still on 1 HP for 20 seconds. How? Again, like, it's two-man pick advantage for Global Yeti, but they just instantly lose 2 more players.
Yeah, that seems to be the story of this game. Just a pretty good situation, then they lose 2 players and things spiral out of control. It's been a lot in like stalemate situations, but this time around it was just in an active fight situation. So not sure how to quite pass that. As Soldiers gonna be quite aggressive up top. They got the pick from the sniper, but the Devilman now on the stairs. That's gonna be too much spam. They're gonna have to get out. Alof will not actually manage to make the trek home here. And Eon gets taken down! The body shot!
Charged! Body shot! I was watching, I flicked that flick!
One point!
It happened! I looked at Flick. No one looked at Flick. They got a frag. They got a drop. But you know what? 5-0.
There was one eyeball on Flick in the entire server, but it was only the STV server, and it was you, Tomato. Everyone else was looking at that medic pick and was like, oh, they're screwed, man. And then they just insta-cap.
What do you mean one eyeball? I mean, Blood Cell Buccaneers, they usually wear the eye patch. I still have 2 eyes here, but eventually... I'm not saying surreptitiously that we got caught out a little bit, Peter. You know, I'm always for exposing us to, because we were talking a bit before the game, and maybe we were even expecting Global Yeti to put up a bit more of a fight, but we don't even go the full 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was a 17-minute match here. Quite quick. And no like resets or anything. We're playing with 4-minute resets. Just want to point it out. I think that's the perfect time. 4 minutes. That's good. We did it. We found it. That's the magic number. Anyways, we never reached those 4 minutes for a reset. I think the closest we got was about 45 seconds, something like that. And that was a very clean push. So quite dominating performance right here. And it did seem to be a bit of an overall quality difference here, but also like some very sketchy, messy moments here. So not exactly like an unimpeachable, these guys are going to be great type of match. It was more just definitely the better team taking the match quite convincing fashion.
Thanks, by the way, that you gave me the time, since I pulled up some logs. I know it's not that important. Only quick storyline I want to read out here is that Flick, SNH, and Sylphs have 50 frags combined between the 3 of them, and all the 6 players on Global Yeti only got 48 frags. So 3 of the players on the Mac team got more frags than all of the 6 players from the other team, which sometimes happens, I suppose, especially on Gullywash. If you get the spiral, you know, it is known and dubbed for as the soldier map, but if scouts just dictate it, because we are talking about a lot of momentum pushes, a lot of also catching out Vonju, even though he died only 1 time more than Eon. Admittedly, though, I felt like those were a bit more costly deaths. Eon dropping once. We saw that in the sort of last 5.
I mean, that's the best play he made. They won instantly.
Yeah. And you just say, you know, it was all scripted. I dropped. It was all a big ruse.
It's a real thing. Any lobby I've ever played, I'll just drop Uber and then we instantly win. It happens every time. I don't know why that works. It just does. So I drop on purpose. Trust me.
Since we're in meta talk time, by the way, I mean, I don't want to mention a game format that is not allowed to mention here since we're on 6s, but I'm just going to admit it. I think usually, instead of saying medic dropped and screaming medic dropped, which usually ruins your team's comms, it's good enough if you say medic died or something like that. Maybe in 6s it's not augmented that much, but you know, the main point that I want to get across, sometimes you screaming in comms messes up your team's comms more, and it leaves your own medic liable to sort of cheeky plays.
No. You scream medic dropped. I dropped him. I hit a fat air shot. Guys, why aren't you focusing people? Should I stop talking? Yeah. You might have a point.
And then like the 2-3 other players say, hey guys, we got 2 times cap on the lats. Can someone deal with it? Someone? Hello? Someone? And then it's flick backcapping.
Yeah. Then it's over. I don't know. Yeah, Eon is a genius. Can't convince me otherwise. Perfect play. Instantly won. That's just facts. I'm just looking
I
at the
will
results
remember to ask him for you on LAN if he does those things on purpose. But we enter the second map now, Sunshine. The usual coping mechanisms are Global Yeti, fair and square got put into the dumpster 5-0 on the very first map. But that was the pick of next team. So now we're on the pick and home turf of Global Yeti.
Much more open map here. See both demos spamming from a bit much longer distance here. Zill's gonna come jumping in though. Doesn't like Alop. Gonna take a fight with him. And then goes down once again. Scouts in super aggressive. Pico gets taken down. SNH is just on a rampage. He's gonna get shut down eventually. Wanshu fighting for his life here. Looks like he will eventually survive here as the soldiers both make it back to him. Bloke's gonna survive on a sliver of HP. Gonna win the mid, but not quite be able to get the prize in Wanshu.
Absolute wonderful serves by Wonju, probably picking up some cleanies there as well. Also, Elof sort of even catching out Nick. But it was the Roos once more. Left in behind, collects Wonju.
Yeah, Wanshu did a pretty good surf there, but he was down some stairs. Not a whole lot of room to dodge after that. And he's just gonna get taken down by some really clean rockets here. Once again, Eon's gonna be surrounded by teammates with a full Uber to go here. He just needs to get in without getting spammed out, having to pop in a really defensive position. They should be good, and they've managed to secure the second point completely free here. Very nice play, just going in, just slowly pressing out the enemy team, and we got the sniper on last, we got a heavy on last. They don't even have time to put up a sentry gun.
Is the magician's trick. You sort of, flick in forward, but now we can reap the fruits, which is in full 100% Uber advantage push here, and already Wonju is falling down, cannot leave. 3 pipes into Alien. SNH rips Tokyo apart slowly, ever so slowly. They are picking them all at once, Front also being affronted by the Solemn Vow. And I can only say solemnly, wow, 2 minutes that only took for 1 round.
That was quick, blazingly fast. Once again, just the momentum is so large there. And again, it kind of comes down to Wanshu being just focused down, getting jumped, having to pop, having to get picked off really quickly there on last as well. And the momentum is just crazy coming out here for the Samurais. So, take a very quick round.
I feel like they're just spinning the wheel on whoever needs to die for their own efforts.
Air shot.
Was an air shot that was crazy.
Sills just got air shot by 2 different people here, but Eon has been taken down by Alop. He just does like normal direct rockets there. Those work just as well, but Flick's on a 3K. People were not looking at him. They were so preoccupied with trying to pick off Bloke here that they were just not paying attention. And Bloke's gonna come in from the side, take down Wanshu. Wanshu is just having one hell of a bad game right now. Just keeps being picked off and bullied out. And now Eon, is he on crits? He is not.
Tokyo.
Okay, he's just gonna have an Uber head.
Tokyo hit the kill bind. Flick captured the church, which is sort of, just his namesake. It is the church of Flick right now. It is the religion of Flick. Also, they're having some funny talk here in the chat, I think, also commenting on whether or not Tokyo needed to kill bind there. Also, some players falling down. But you can definitely make a religion out of Flick getting a 4K on that mid, and also that just renders Eon with another hefty 40% Uber advantage.
They're going to need to do something here. They do have a sentry gun set up this time around, so they're much more prepared to deal with the Uber disad, and also they're going to have Uber pretty quickly here. So if Eon isn't in there very fast, and they don't just hunt down Wanshu immediately, this could be a fatal push. They're going to come in here with a scout and a demo man, and Pico will actually go down. Doesn't manage to escape in time. Eon... Wanshu is still alive. They're putting us some good fights. They're being picked off though. Alop's on 2 HP. Wanshu is on 90% Uber. It is not enough. The push came in time. They managed to make it work just fine. 2-0, and we've spent 5 minutes in this map.
You've seen already a little bit the inexperience shining there once more from the side of Global Yeti. Pico gets picked up in front of his own spawn, could have definitely left out there, and then Tokyo very decent impetus to bomb the point, decent timing as well, but overshot his target. So basically ended up not blocking the point, ended up not shooting anyone close to the point. But it's now, though, him controlling the clock tower here on the church, trying to leave out, though, to his enemy team's Tetris area where they are circling themselves out counterclockwise. There's also the red soldier Sylphs taking up to the air, only really trading a little bit of spam here, trying to see what player is being eaten to a weak pulp. No one dying at all. Now, finally, Tokyo might die. So weak.
Syl's gonna actually be the first one there to get spammed out on the bell tower, and then air shot on to left as well. This is looking really, really good here for the Poles, and they're just gonna sit back, heal up, and that's just gonna be too much pressure here. You know, they're just standing there menacingly, and that's gonna cause the Keck Minion Samurais to just put their tail between the legs and run out.
We had 2.5 sun rotations, I felt like, on that midpoint, but apparently the final eclipse of the Max Heart, I suppose, was basically drawing them back to the mothership there, the tractor beam. But now we are eyeing up toward Wonju with Front and Piku in the cafe area where they're trying to leap something forward, but it's a really stalemate. SNH basically manhandling Olaf there by himself in the choke.
Yeah, just bullies him, just runs into him. He did see that Alan was taking some damage. He was playing kind of forward, trying to see if he can get a jump in here. But now it's going to be the Samurais jumping in instead, very aggressively moving forward, just taking up a ton of space. I think they're just looking for that opening to get the bomb in, but instead it's just going to be the Uber exchange. Eon is much longer here, and you can just see Flick leave everyone else out and choke, and they even take off
Neil is weak in the post fight though. Maybe they can find him. Cannot. So many barriers are body blocking, and now it might be the ultimate collapse here. Flick is still charging. He's still battling Piku. Front down though on the side to SNH and Sylphs as a combo, and so much deathmatch there mattered. You saw the medic frag glaring up in front of their eyes. Eon though was kept alive. His own players body blocked.
Yeah, also good just discipline there from Flick to not chase that out. He was fragging out, he was doing really well, and then he just decided not to take a 1v1 with a scat with a full medic on him. Good on him. That's going to make it so much easier here. The pressure on the point is really strong. Then you take down the Heavy. Heavy is dead. You got Mac pulling out the sword. He's a true samurai. And there we go. 3-0.
Or maybe he's also the true overlord and everyone else is just, or are just his minions. Perhaps that's sort of the vibe they're going with. But Wonju dies there on 92%. I know that we're sort of, I don't want to say dead time, but you know, one team is rolling quite hard, so I don't want to get too analytical here. But again, Tokyo initiating a bit too early, no other players really following behind that, and then Wonju dies on 92%. Maybe they're already shaving this off and thinking this is over, but you still have 22 minutes realistically to play this. Sylphs is already taken to the air here, making a high bomb, finding nothing of note, left down. Sylphs might fall as well. No, he keeps alive.
Looks like the minions are in quite a lot of trouble here. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get out. Eon's going to press delete on his keyboard. He's going to get taken down. And Wonju stays alive with 2 scouts. This is basically what you want to have alive after a big fight. 2 scouts and a medic. You can carve up the point, you can keep building Uber, and you can just keep on running forward very, very quickly. So great mid-fight coming out here for the Poles. This is what they need to come back. It's been pretty quick so far. It's not even 9 minutes elapsed, and they're down by 3. So they need some momentum back.
The Poles need a polar opposite, sort of a shift here in momentum, definitely. I mean, it is global, yet I worry about them maybe not nailing the last push. But here it goes, send it instantly onto the sentry gun, which is now dealt with. A Front, though, very weak on HP, as there was a sniper, I think, who shot him. But now Tokyo and Alaf, they're unleashing here on Flick and onto Mac. Broke down as well, so much cap time gained. The Heavy might not even be fast enough, but it's only Wonju left alive.
Yeah, too much damage. That was a really bad Uber. Okay, Wonju's actually going to go for the play. Oh, almost. They were running back to spawn there to switch off of Heavy. Wonju almost caught them out, but he's going to have to do some sick surfing now if he wants to escape. Soldier's chasing him down. Actually, Al's going to come in and save him out there, so Wonju will actually end up surviving that very cheeky play attempt coming out here. And the fact that the soldier went down probably is going to stop them from actually pushing out. I say as they get a pick and they're going to push out here. With all the samurai, like all the Japanese hats are just in full force here. See soldier in the choke. That's going to be too much pressure. He could jump around, and Alof's going to be taken down once again. Eon full Uberad. Well, I'll say full Uberad. He has a 30% Uberad. So once you can't play too close here, and you can jump in really deep here if you want to, as Mac. And Piku, he's on sniper, has not been able to pick anything, and the samurai, they're just charging ball here. They don't care.
He's on the Piku class eventually, but I mean, if you want to believe in Japanese cuisine, they can say that even on a one-man disadvantage here, Mac's team ramped them in basically. But Smac's still in the choke here. He's not even switching off here. Piku's so aggressive, still in the choke on sniper.
Double soldier bomb is coming! Oh my god! They just absolutely double teamed once you in the air there. Perfectly synced up. And they're even going to pick off a lot of players in choke here. That was crazy.
That was cyberbullying. Represented in Team Fortress 2.
Yeah, that was just absolutely... like, it feels like they just collapsed in midair and just created a black hole that just sucked the medic into it. That was nuts. They're on the point. We've got a sort of being air shot as well here on the point. They're trying to come out and block it out, but the Uber is here as well. This is not going to end well. 4-0. That was a soldier bomb and a half. Holy.
We don't usually have sort of cleave tactics here in Team Fortress 2, but that was a cleave. I mean, you said it, spelled it out perfectly. Met in midair, had a medic who didn't want to be there. Basically the third wheel, if you want to go like that, from the boyfriend romance bomb from Double Soldier. But eventually 4-0. I hope, for your sake, we see more time elapsed here as on Gullywash, but it does not seem to be the way. I feel like they've looked so well there, like pushing last, but eventually faulted by Global Yeti. Now 5th mid-fight.
Yeah, they did win the last mid-fight here. They're going to jump up to the bell tower, contested quite heavily here. Blow's going to jump in to try and get the medic. Not even close. Front is quite weak here.
Really
but
good.
Once again, they're not quite able to get it.
Elof chasing Eon here. Elof chasing Eon. Can he basically whips him out? Dodges a double rocket. He even takes one bolt. Elof is so weak eventually. Finally.
Yeah, just perfectly manages to eventually get him up against the wall there. That's heartbreaking. Eon was so close to escaping. Still Soldier him fighting in lobby. Blow's gonna get taken down by Alov as well. So Alov just playing frontman right now, taking space and taking names. And we're gonna have the opposite of what we saw before. An actual full Uber ad push into last. They don't even have time to set up a level 3 as well. I think they want to be pretty quick here on Global Yeti, and they are indeed much better Uber than last time. Front got juggled on that one, but this time around, he takes down the sentry gun, blocks off a spawn, and they have so much space.
Now the bomb, a flurry of shots might be unleashed here. Flick, however, is gone. But so much
Oh
damage,
my
man!
God!
It's a nuke! The 3K with the sticky trap and 2K from front. The problem is probably, though, front is the only one left here on the last point. It's a wipe. It's a demo man heaven.
They had everything going for them, but the cone stickies got them. Unbelievable hold there. Mac with the 4K saves it
And
for
this
his
is
team.
why you watch the traffic, Peter. You save in the traffic. Always watch the cones.
Always, always, always. And now it's Eon with the full Uber ad. I really wanted Global Yeti to get a point here. Actually, Mac just in. He's full on in. Trying to get this scout. Unable to get it, but he gets saved as well. We have some soldiers going maybe perhaps forward. Not quite. Anyan being sneaky on the flank here, hoping someone else is going to push into him. It will not happen just yet, but still, he is deep. He's going to try and go in here. He's taking space, and he's just taking so much attention as well. Scout's already on the point. Everyone could just walk in for free. So the Sales Bomb, it didn't do a lot of damage, but it took all of the attention, and now we've got...
60% Uber advantage, and they're already tripling forward. Mac isn't even caught. Well, maybe he is eventually dealt with by front on the front line, also left down below. I was about to say, wonderful high bombs. Those samurai soldiers can do whatever they want, but we sort of even forgot that Wonju had a big Uber advantage. They didn't forget that, they just pushed on full force in, but now, Eon though, has a full Uber advantage himself.
Yep, it's not the easiest place to use it. It's a kind of a long point here, but it looks like they want to try and go through flowers. That way you can potentially cut off the enemy medic as he tries to retreat. It's a pretty decent strategy. You can see how much distance they actually have to cover. And yeah, Wanju doesn't want to be part of this at all. Front is actually super weak as well. He's going to have to get an arrow. He will get it. Point has come out here, and they're already in on last.
Already on last.
Scout's
no one
going to
goes
get
anymore.
flash.
And that ends it. The glimpse of immortality fades. So does the halfway marker. So does week 1 for Global YETI and the Samurais. The solar sailing soldiers from the Samurais on Sunshine, and also the minions of Yek, of Mech, not Yek. That's a different team. That's also a different stream that you can watch. Probably still ongoing on essentials.tf. But Peter, we were hoping the underdog story was brewing a little bit, but only realistically a little bit.
Yeah, they got some good pushes in there. But somehow it just seems like every time they had a bit of an advantage and some momentum going, it just blew up in their face. They slipped on a banana peel. Things just went awry real quick. And as it is, first map was 17 minutes. This one was a little more than 13 minutes. So we got about half an hour of good game time out here on 2 maps. So if the other match is going to the normal 30 minutes, then yeah, it should be possible to actually go watch that. But yeah, I was wondering some stuff about how SN8 was going to fit in. I thought he was great, played really well, but also seemed like the entire team was just slightly a level above Global YETI. So I don't know how much we learned there, but I guess the power of friendship only takes you so far, is what we've learned today.
The power of friendship does prevail in the end, I do think. But what my main takeaway is that Sylphs and Bloke, especially on Sunshine, they just didn't care at all, just bombed him, I mean, they saw 3 players and basically, again, disrespected them. Maybe Global YETI need to not only iron out a bit of their deathmatch capabilities, but more so, I would say, the focus fire. They were definitely trying to hit on another stride. And, once you reach Prem, you see the difference between winning Division 1 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago and playing in Premiership now. It's quite a hefty disparity. I don't want to babble on too long. Maybe 1 or 2 last sentences if you have that, Peter, before we head off. Do you have anything else to say to our wonderful Prince stream crowd right now?
If you type in exclamation point either LAN or donate, you can donate to the Poland fundraiser and increase the prize pool, make everything run around, that kind of stuff. It definitely worth the cause. It's going to be a great LAN with a bunch of American teams there as well as the best European teams overall. So definitely go check that out. It's going to be great. It's going to be a LAN that's coming up here at the end of February. Definitely looking forward to it. I'm super hyped. And with that, I think we should just go watch we should send them to the other stream because they just started map 2.
All right, brilliant. So it is this week 1 here concluding, and more ETF2L action to follow up, especially on Essentials. So we'll see you there.